Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode, an exciting episode of Inspiration to Achieve, where I share with you inspiration to help you change your aspirations into transformations, as well as achieve your life and business goals and thrive. So, today we're going to be concluding on the topic how to effectively recharge your energy. And I'm coming to you live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on my Facebook business page, and as well, soon you're going to have access to me on radio. And you can also catch a replay on my YouTube channel. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And my name is Patience Ogunbona, also known as the Visionary Introverted Woman. And my passion, therefore, is working with introverted women to help create increased impact, influence, and income, as well as thrive. But also, I collaborate with organizations, SMEs, and corporations to be able to achieve synergy in what I call their 3Ps, which is people, performance, and process. And therefore, helping them to develop strategies that would lead to sustainability and profitability. So that's me, and I would love to spend the next couple of minutes with you, sharing with you on this topic on how to effectively recharge your energy. Today is a very windy day, and there's a lot of howling outside. So for those joining me live either on Facebook or LinkedIn, if you experience any challenges with hearing me, with seeing me, please drop your comments. And I also love to interact on my live sessions. So feel free to make a comment, feel free to share your views and your insights. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about how to effectively recharge your energy. We started with part one last week, and I felt that it was a topic that needed a lot of input into it. So we're doing part two today. And as is usual with Inspiration to Achieve, I like to start with either a quote, a question, or some story. So today I'm going to start with first a quote that sets the tone for what we'll be doing today. And the quote is by Bill Watterson, and it says, "Shutting off the thought process is not rejuvenating. The mind is like a car battery. It recharges by running." Now, I want you, therefore, to then take some time while you're listening to me to actually tune into answering this question. Are you recharging your energy effectively at the moment? I know that we're in lockdown and therefore there is a kind of slowdown, but does it mean that you're actually effectively recharging based on this quote as well? So we all know that I said that I have a passion for working and empowering introverted women. The word recharge is something that is used a lot in language of introverts. And the reason being because introverts tend to get overwhelmed with external stimulus and need to step away a bit to be able to gain their energy back to come back to the world. But just because it's used by introverts doesn't mean that introverts all know how to recharge effectively. So in this lockdown situation, you might think actually it works so well for the introvert, and it does to a certain extent. But how we use the time so that we come out fully recharged is what's important. Just to recap, last week when we talked about recharge, we looked at the why, a little bit of the why and the what. So today, I just want to recap. What we said about recharge is that the definition of recharge is to charge again, is also to restore anew, and to inspire or invigorate afresh, or to renew. So those are great definitions of what it means. And I want you to be thinking about the question, are you doing that effectively? Are you recharging your energy? Keep thinking about that question. Keep looking at that question and how you're managing it. So we then talked a little bit about the why, and I want you to want to expand a bit more on that. Why should you recharge your energy? So, for starters, effective recharge is definitely a pause button. Just like you have a battery that you would plug into something, a recharge means that you have to stop, put it somewhere, and plug it. So it's not just a pause, but a plug as well. And so, why? Because you need to feel some energy going through your body. That is one why. An effective recharge is necessary because you need to stay still for a while. You need to stay still for a while, and we're definitely maybe asked to stop, but not many times do we take advantage of it and stand still. To have an effective recharge, you need to stand still to a certain degree, or stay still in a space, isn't it? And why? Why do you need to do that? Because an effective recharge will actually allows you to see the things you couldn't see before. It allows you to fix things that were broken. You know, many of us before the lockdown might have been exhausted, not just physical exhaustion, but when we talk about internal exhaustion with the emotions, with the way life was, and with the way actually many of us started 2020 looking to just hit the ground and run and run. And we were going to run whether we were broken or whether we were lost. And so a recharge becomes about actually, you're going to have to take a pause, right? So that you can fix things that you need to fix. An effective recharge also helps you heal. Like I said, brokenness can come from maybe being hurt by others. And in a slower pace of life, you get to face that hurt and tune into it and try to understand why. So it helps you to heal. An effective recharge will help you to heal. An effective recharge will top up your and energize as well as renew you. You want to come out of a recharge. You would know that you're recharging when you're renewing constantly. So that is important. And last time I shared a story about recharging where I said I went on a cruise. Now, the cruise that I went for was for a 50th birthday party, and it was on my own. I didn't know people. So initially, I got there and I thought this is an opportunity for me to get to know new people, to network, to expand my network. I very quickly realized the opportunity that lay there in terms of not just tuning in and allowing all the external stimulus to be constantly driving me to excitement or making me at least more sociable. I thought in this 7 days, it would be a mistake for me not to take the time to plug into certain things in my life. And so I took time out from everybody and I stood still. So I did exactly what I'm telling you now. I took time off, stayed in my nice room. I could see the ocean from my window. And so that was exciting. So I took time out and I stayed in my room. I took time out and I brought a book along with me. Because what was bugging me before 2020 was this. I was ill for most of 2019. And for a person of faith, I had prayed a lot to get well. I was actually scared about constantly being unwell. I had challenges in my business and I was doubting my faith. So on the trip, I carried a book called Faith and Doubt by John Otterberg. But he's also the author of If You Want to Walk on Water, You Got to Step Out of the Boat. So I carried this book and it was my companion. I could have lost the opportunity to read and to dig deep into the book, but I didn't. I took the advantage. When I came back, I plugged into certain actions that came out of taking that time to really plug into how I was feeling, because I could have used what some of us do, which is a plaster, apply a plaster to the problem and hope it just heals underneath that plaster. So I could have gone on this cruise. I could have taken the time to just have a lot of fun, have a lot of laughter, dance the blues away, and be back to square one when I get home. But instead, I plugged into the pain that I was feeling. I tuned in to many disappointments, of many failures, of many hurts, that people might have done to me. And I tuned into the need to recharge, which means I needed to, one of the definitions, renew myself again. I needed to take something out, and I needed to inspire myself and invigorate myself to chase my dreams again. And so, what does an effective recharge underneath it all? Why do you need an effective recharge? This is one big one for me, and it's number 8 out of all that I've shared. And it is, an effective recharge helps you to go on a spiritual awakening journey to use a different toolkit to harness your strengths and thrive. I'll say that again. An effective recharge helps you to go on a spiritual awakening journey to use a different toolkit to harness your strengths and thrive. So today I put out a post on Facebook where I talked about change. And the whole idea behind a recharge is to achieve change. And you cannot achieve change where you are unwilling to see what needs to change, to seek what needs to change, and to take the action that is needed for change. But more importantly, if you are feeling a sense of disappointment and a sense of loss, a sense of brokenness and pain right now, you will be aware that whatever got you here is not going to get you there, to a place, to a different space. So therefore, you need to renew. And that comes as well from spiritual awakening, as amongst other things that I have mentioned. So how do you recharge? So I'm going to talk about it from my own perspective and from a framework that I've created and I'm successfully using with clients at the moment. It's my Harness Your Strengths and Thrive framework. And it's a framework that I use to work with my clients for a 6-week period to be able to go on that journey of renewal, of recharging, of turning a breakdown into a breakthrough. Because many times, how do you know that you need a recharge? There's a breakdown. You are totally washed out. You are totally feeling lost. You're totally struggling. And if you think about a battery and you think about the definition of what we gave, what does a battery do? A battery gives life. So your life force is depleted when your energy is low. A battery gives life to something, and a battery gives light to something. So your light becomes diminished when your charge is low, when your life force is low. So you need to be working in a situation where you are replacing or increasing that life force. So my framework is in 4 parts, and the first part is to reveal. The second part is to remove, because you will reveal what it is and you will realize that change is necessary, right? And so you have to go on that journey of change. And even the revelation is a process itself, because sometimes people don't want to go there. They don't want to look at what it is that they need to take responsibility for. And sometimes we just want to blame somebody else. So the point there is, for you to effectively recharge, you need to be willing to reveal those self-sabotaging behaviors, those things about you that are really good that you haven't harvested, that you haven't taken advantage of, your strengths that are lying dormant, and your potential. Then you begin to remove the ones you don't want and be determined then to fight for the ones you do want, so that you can amplify them and use them to your benefit. That brings me to number 3 of my framework, which is to rejuvenate. You rejuvenate. You rejuvenate, and you understand the ones that you want to keep and how you want to amplify them. Once you've done that, you go on that final process of renewal. Final process of renewal. So it's what happens to a car when it's recharged. It begins to run again. It begins to run in alignment. It begins to run with speed. It begins to warm up the battery and it moves, right? So when you effectively recharge, you take time out to practice deliberately. You identify the awareness, the tasks, or the knowledge that are just out of your reach, that you haven't been able to reach because you've been running around and you are running on empty. And so you strive, therefore, to upgrade your performance, monitor your progress, and revise accordingly. This is what my framework effectively helps people to achieve. And also, I know that by working, it's not an easy work, but it's a fulfilling and a rewarding work. It's a work that leads to transformation. As a transformational coach, my end result that I always ask people to achieve, or that I help people to achieve, is that transformation that then allows you to inspire others with your journey and your story, that becomes that unique you, that becomes to a great extent your lived experience, that can be your unique selling point for what you do and why you do what you do. If you see all the successful people around in the world, they have a lived experience that defines why they do what they do. And they harness from that lived experience through some taking the time to grow and understand themselves and grow themselves. So this would require you, obviously, to effectively recharge. And to effectively recharge will require you to have intense concentration. So an intense concentration might mean you stay away. If you're an introverted woman or a man, you don't have necessarily too much of a problem with that, but you can stay away and just stay in your head. So what I'm suggesting is intense concentration means taking the things and allowing an understanding of what is going on behind the scenes. Then a recharge will mean that you need deep motivation that is often self-generated. So when I tell the story about coming back from the cruise, I came back and I had to motivate myself to actually, because no matter how I tried to maybe explain to my husband, he had his own challenges, that he was working. He's not in the business that I'm in. So obviously I had to find coaches that will help me to find what I call my critical success factors and my motivating factors. And I had to then dig deep and find them. And that led me to actually what I'm doing today and standing before you. So very important work and deep motivation that comes from yourself, understanding yourself and pulling through from it. But then it also involves working on the task that is most challenging to you personally. So when you're recharging, think about it. For example, if you're carrying a battery, a phone, and you're recharging it, if you start working on it, obviously it's depleting. It will be depleting and it will take longer to charge. So the point there is, we know that. So you know that you will give yourself time to be able to recharge. But you'll be then doing the tasks that you know you've put away, that have held you back, and are like a barrier and a block to you moving forward. And that is what is important. That's what's useful about my framework, is that you are at the point you are at in life because you need a renewal to change, and you need to remove the blocks, the barriers, the things that are holding you back. Therefore, you need to definitely work on the most challenging things, because guess what? The most challenging things are the formidable strongholds. They are the formidable strongholds in your mindset. So if you think about mindset, you might have a wishy-washy mindset. Oh, well, yeah, I think it's luck that makes people succeed, or, so I would just get lucky one day, for example. Or you might have a strong mindset that says, I am not one of the people that are meant to be successful. Now, that's linked to the lock back part. But the truth about it, if you think about the second one, very strong mindset, because it goes back to maybe limiting beliefs that have been put in you by someone else, that have been put in you by experiences you've had. So it's going to be harder to work on that. And once you work on that, the other element falls apart. So recognizing which one it is through the reveal process of the framework. Like I said, the process or the framework includes 4 parts, which is to reveal, to remove, to rejuvenate, and to renew. So that's working on a 6-week process that allows you to take time to really numb and get used to, and then begin to develop your own ways of motivating yourself deeply to achieve results. So this is all I wanted to share with you. Recap that it is important to recharge in this season. I know that last year when the lockdown started, there was a lot of talking about, oh, you need, if you come out of this lockdown without a change, without this, and people were, then you have not achieved anything. And people were really upset about people saying that. And I get that. But for me, I just look at how 2020 turned out after I came back and I landed. And I was kind of lucky that I was able to go because it was at the beginning. I couldn't have predicted that there was an opportunity or that lockdown was going to happen and there will be an opportunity. I was either going to just float through the lockdown or I was going to renew and recharge, and I was going to do it effectively. Fortunately, I chose to recharge and I chose to do it effectively. It has opened a lot of doors. It has brought me lots of things: peace. It has brought me fulfillment. It has brought me clarity on the things I need to do or that I love to do. And it has brought me clarity on the areas of my life that I needed to change. It has brought me an opportunity to create a framework where I can see instant results in people, and it's so shocking and amazing. But that makes me grateful that my lived experience, just like everybody else, our lived experience is not to be wasted. It's to be used to help somebody else to go quicker and faster and get to their destination. So it leaves me to tell you that, you can rewatch this at any time on my YouTube channel because it will be uploaded there. And there you have other tools and other videos that you can watch with a lot of insights, but also you get a link to part 1 if you have missed it. So you watch the whole series from beginning to end, which will be beneficial for you. So click on the link and then you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would love to engage with you and I would love to bring you more stuff. But also, I want you to know that I'll be coming to a radio station near you very soon, and I'm excited about that. So look for me and look forward to it. So I want to leave you with a quote from my book. As you well know, I wrote a book at the start of my journey, and it's in line with who I am. It's called Aspiration to Transformation, 10 Steps to Get You from a Place of Discomfort to Empowerment Zone. And that is on Amazon. And in chapter 6, I talk about focused energy. And there I have said that you need to seek moments of respite to re-energize and get back in the saddle. So you must remember that we need to get back in the saddle and ride. We all want the doors to open. We all want normal to happen. But the truth is, the normal that is going to happen is the one you create, because a lot of things will happen that will still be out of your control, even if doors are open. But the normal that you're going to be living, that is going to be fulfilling, is the one that you have created. So I encourage you to seek respite and take the time to re-energize. And if you need to get in touch with me and, think about a seed, I want to leave you with also this wisdom. Think about a seed that is just sitting dormant needs to be planted into the ground. That is how it gets re-energized again. It was once on a plant, on a tree, and now it's lost all the energy of life and life source. But there is life within that seed. There is still life within that seed. Trust me. Just plant it and see. Once you put it in an enabling soil, that seed germinates and begins to bring forth another life again. So if you're feeling like the seed that is being cast down at the moment, find a way to plug yourself in for a recharge. The right soil, the right place, the right coach, the right mentor, the right trainings, the right techniques, the right insights. When you do that, trust me, the life force that seemed dormant will begin to arise again. So take the time to do this. Take the time to watch this video. Thank you to those that have joined me today. I'm glad to have you on board. I'm glad that you gained a lot of insights from it. And, let me know your comments for those who are watching me on LinkedIn and on Facebook and even on YouTube when you get to watch. Let me know your comments. Share with me your insights. Share with me your own story and your journey, or what you've done to re-energize yourself in this time. So it leaves me to say this from my heart. If nobody's rooting for you, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for your success. I'm rooting for your fulfillment. I'm rooting for your transformation. So join me again next week when I start a new series completely, but also look forward to having guests along as well. So new perspectives and new refreshing. Take care and God bless.